Good morning, everyone. So, in the last session, we are trying to work on our Spring with annotation example here. In the core module, we identified here how we can work on the XML. So, as well as in our annotation example, we identified here. So, today we are going to discuss another important module here, DO module. So, DO is nothing but database authentication like database access module. We are going to work on the. So, here we are working on the Spring core with Spring DO here. So based on the experience like what we identified in the previous classes, so based on those experience, we'll try to connect with our database here to store the data or to update or to load the data. So we are going to perform some code operations with help of this particular Spring DO module. So and here, what are the drawbacks we identified in the previous technologies and why the Spring DO module is introduced here. So first we need to understand here what are the drawbacks in the previous technology. So if you know some of the JDBC related example here, so we need to focus on to the JDBC information and what are the drawbacks we are having in the JDBC template. So like when we're trying to work on the JDBC with our other technologies. So we need to see first, later we'll try to come back to the and what are the advantage we are going to get whenever we are trying to work on our Spring DO module here. And in the Spring DO module, what are the information we are having to connect with our Spring core with DO here, right? So basically, before going to connect with our Spring DO module, we need to see. So we identified the core module example. We are going to communicate with the interface to implementation classes here. So to connect our loose coupling here, now what we are doing here, we are creating an interface here. From the interface, we'll try to connect our implementation classes here. So same way, in the Spring DO also, we'll try to work on the same manner. Like if you see, here we are having service object. Here we are going to have service object here. So service object is nothing but we'll create some service implementation classes here. So those implementation classes again we are going to connect from our service interfaces. So just imagine this service object is implemented by some other service interface, right? And another what we are doing internally. So this is all about our DO interface. So this is all about our DO interface. So from the DO interface, now what we are doing is we are trying to connect our implementation classes here. So this section of code we are going to call it as a DO implementation. Getting the point. So DO implementation here. Getting the point. So how this particular hierarchy is going to work? From this particular service object here, from we are going to connect our DO interface. From this particular DO interface, we try to connect our application with the implementation classes. Now, what you are understanding is, so we'll create one service object. So the service object, we are going to connect it from the service interface. And from the service interface, we will call our DO interface. And inside this particular DO interface, we'll have some methods. So those methods are implemented by this particular DO implementation here. Cutting the point. So this is the way we are going to connect our objects with help of this particular hierarchy here, right? Now understand here. So first we need to focus on to the JDBC classes here. Whenever we are trying to work on the JDBC, what are the drawbacks we have identified here? Now we'll have a simple example here. So let me connect to any example. We'll try to find out the example in Google. So JDBC example with any database here. So I want to show you the drawbacks here. What are the drawbacks we are having here? If you observe here, in this section, what they are doing here? So they are creating. So this is the name of the driver which database we are trying to connect here. So this is the driver is indicating to the MySQL database, and using this particular method, get connection method. Now what we are doing here? we are trying to get the connection from the database here, and this is the URL we are having, and so this is the scheme of the particular database, and these two are indicating username and password here. So after creating this, get the connection. So what we are doing here, we are trying to connect our statement, and we are executing this particular query here. So basically, the data we already inserted, we are trying to load here. So whenever we are trying to load here, now if you observe carefully, so they are using try block, and so they are using catch block here. So inside this particular catch block, so what they are doing here, they are trying to work on the exception here. So I just want to know here, when we are going to work on this particular try and catch block here. So when we are going to work on the try and catch block here, any idea? So they implemented here one try block, and so they implemented here one catch block here. So I just want to know when we can go for this try and catch block, because we already discussed exception handling in the previous example here. Basically, the problem here, so whatever the code we are having here, this entire code is going to throw checked exceptions here. So what is a checked exception is going to throw? Something called SQL exception. Getting the point, SQL exception. Now, to load this particular object from the database, so we need to write this particular code here. How many lines of code we are writing? So to write this particular simple query, how many lines of code we are writing? We are trying to defining the driver and getting the connection, and we are trying to write the one statement. So from the statement, we are getting the method called execute query. Getting the point. And finally, we are getting an object here. So inside this particular result set, we are going to get an object. From the result set here, we are trying to converting into our particular employee object here. So now you can see how many steps of code we are writing. So 1 and 2. So here we are defining 3. So every time we are defining 3, and here 4th step. So to handling this particular catch block, and here they did not add much code, like we need to close the connection. So once we load the data from the database, we need to close the particular connections here, right? So more than 5 steps here. Getting the point. So more than 5 steps we need to write to load a simple object from the database. Getting the point. Now we'll see. So to insert the object, what are the steps we need to write? Only loading object maybe they provided here. Okay. So if you understand here, so same way, just what we are doing here, we are trying to load the object from the database, right? And this section of code is indicating to write the, getting the point, to write to insert the data into the table. Again, we need to write these many lines of code. Again, so we need to write these many lines of code here. So if you understand here, so let me clear this particular console. So now observe carefully, this is very important, we need to understand here. If you observe here, we are defining try block, and we are trying to handle with the catch block here. We are trying to handle with the catch block, and internally, so whenever we are getting an exception, we are printing here. So this is different here, but observe. And here, just to load an object from the database, we are writing. And the same thing, so to insert an object for also, we need to write these many steps, and we need to define the same try catch block here. Same try catch block here. Getting the point. And same steps to update any record. To update any record, we need to write these many steps. To update any record, we need to write these many steps here. Now, if you understand carefully here, the same code we are trying to defining multiple times here. The same code we are trying to defining multiple times here. Getting the point. And here, so without getting any exception, so if you are properly handling the connection and everything here, we are not going to get any exception here. But even though if we are not getting any exception, but what we can do, so we need to handle with a try catch block here, because SQL exception is our checked exception. So checked exception we need to handle, so before writing the particular code here. Getting the word. So forcefully, now what we are doing is we are defining the connection related information, and we are trying to work on the try catch blocks to handle the SQL exception here. Right. So because of this particular drawbacks here, the Spring introduced the template classes here. So those template classes is going to take care of the common functionality. What are the common functionality we have? So here the connection and statement. These three offline code. This is the common, right? Because to our inserting, updating, or deleting, or loading. So whatever the operation we are performing, so this connection related information is common. And the same way, inside this particular catch block, we are going to close the connection. So this particular connection related closing also same for the each and every operation here. So this particular common functionality is defined in our template classes. Getting the point. So this particular common functionality we are not going to write. So now directly what we can do, we can focus on to insert the data or to update the data or to load the data here. Getting the point. So this is very important here. If you understand here, now, so compared to the JDBC with the Spring JDBC, now what you understand here, in the normal JDBC for each and every operation, we are going to write the connection related information and the closing related information, and between we'll try to focus on the code operations here. So insertion, updates, and deletion. Getting the point. But when we are coming back to the Spring JDBC, we are not going to focus on the connection related code. So directly we'll focus on so what are the operations we are trying to perform, whether we are trying to perform insertion or we are trying to perform any update operation. Getting the point. So these are the operations directly we are going to perform. Right? So this is the main advantage we are going to get from the Spring JDBC. And another one, if you observe, the SQL exception is our checked exception. But here in the Spring JDBC, so whatever the exception we are getting, the SQL exception, so which is handled by the internally Spring, and so we are getting unchecked exceptions here. So from the Spring JDBC, we are going to throw unchecked exception here. We are going to throw unchecked exception if you miss any connection related or any syntax we miss, so we are going to get an unchecked exception. For the unchecked exception, we don't want to define this particular try and catch block here. Try and catch block here. Carrying the point. So most of the code is handled by the Spring. So just we need to focus what are the operation we are going to perform. Carrying the point. This is the main advantage we are going to get from the JDBC, Spring JDBC. So whenever we are trying to working from the Spring JDBC templates here, right? Internally, if you observe, so Spring come with different exceptions classes here. So to understand the exception classes, first we need to add jobs information. So now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to work on the Maven repository. Inside this particular Maven repository, so we need to add Spring JDBC. So in the Spring JDBC, now what I'm doing is, we'll go for the same version like what we discussed in the previous sections, something called 329. And I'm trying to open form.xml. Okay, here I want to write this particular Spring JDBC. So whenever we are providing this particular Spring JDBC, we need to provide one more jar here. So the jar here, because we are going to connect our application with the Postgres databases here. So the configuration is same for the any database, whether you are working on the Oracle or MySQL or Postgres database. Getting the point. So now you can see basically in my system, so I install the Postgres database here. So I'm going to connect it Postgres database, right? So if you are like in your system, if it is installed MySQL or Oracle here, the same configuration we can work on the. But here the only it will change the URL, username and password here, and the remaining what the everything code is same. So to download this particular Postgres jar, now what we can do, we need to add Postgres SQL jar. This is our Postgres SQL we need to add. So which one is? Okay, so we'll go for the random one. Now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to add. So this is the Postgres jar also. So these two jars we need to add, and once it is completed, this particular billing workspace, so we need to see what are the unchecked exceptions are implemented. Right, the billing workspace is completed. Now what I'm doing is unchecked exception classes. Observe here, so data access exception. Getting the point. So data access exception. This is also one of the unchecked exception which is coming from the which package. Now you can see org spring framework.do. Getting the point. org spring framework.do. Inside this particular do package, they implemented one exception class called data access exception. Basically, this is the main exception classes in our Spring JDBC, right? And this exception is extending from the nested exception. Now we can focus here. So finally, what is the exception class is extending a runtime exception. So we already identified here the runtime exception is our unchecked class. Getting the point. It is our unchecked class. Now what you understand here? This particular data exception is also unchecked exception. So which we are using in our Spring JDBC classes. Right? Now what you are understanding? So previously, if you identified any JDBC example we are going to implement, we need to handle our SQL exception. So if you see the simple code here, they are writing exception here. Basically, all the exceptions are going to extend from the exception class, because exception is our super class for all the exception classes here, right? So instead of handling the SQL exception directly, they provided here exception classes. But now you can see, sorry, not open resource. SQL exception. Now if you see which is implemented in our java.sql here. Now see the difference between these two here. This particular class is extending from the which class? Which class here? Exception class. But now you can see this particular data access exception. So internally it is extending nested runtime exception. The nested runtime exception is internally extending from the which class? Runtime exception. Carrying the point. So if any class is extending from the runtime exception, we can think about it is the unchecked exception. If any class is extending from the exception, so this particular class is a checked exception. So this particular checked exception classes, we need to work on the try catch blocks. For the unchecked classes, we don't want to write any try catch block here. Getting the point? So we identified the common connection related code is handled from the Spring JDBC. Now we are seeing the exception. So this is also unchecked exception is handling from the Spring JDBC. Getting the point? So if you understand the package here, now you can see. So ORG Spring Framework DAO, right? So this is all about the exception class here. So this is our super class, and along with this we have different exception classes here. All are unchecked exceptions here. So just for understanding, I will try to explain the one or two exception classes here. So cannot, now you can see these are the exception classes. So acquire, lock exception. Correct the one. So this particular lock exception also is extending from the, so which exception here, now you can see concurrency failure exception, so transient data access exception, and finally you can see, so this particular transient data access exception is extending from the data access exception. So this is, so we discussed just now, this is our super class for all the unchecked exception, so which are implemented in our Spring JDBC. Getting the point? So now you can see this is also one exception is implemented, unchecked exception, and so concurrency failure exception. This is another exception class, and now you can see this is one more exception class. So finally, now you can understand here cannot acquire lock exception. Cannot acquire lock exception. If you observe, all the classes they are calling super keyboard. All the classes they are calling super. So whenever we are calling super here, which super class methods are going to execute here? The runtime exception. Finally, the runtime exception methods are going to executed here. Getting the point? So these are the some of the exceptions are implemented in our Spring JDBC, and we'll try to find out the. So we discussed the concurrency failure exception, and cannot acquire exception we identified. So data access exception we identified, and what are the maybe invalid. What is the name of the exception we are having? This. Now you can see invalid data access API usage exception. So this is also coming from the same package, invalid data access resource usage exception. And so invalid data exception is not our class. So this is also, these three are the not our classes. Final, these two. Now we can see invalid data access API usage exception and invalid data access resource usage exception. Right. So each exception class we are going to have unique purpose here. Getting the point. By name of the particular exception class itself is providing the information. So when we are going to get an exception here. So cannot acquire lock exception. Basically, whenever we are trying to work on the locking mechanism here while updating or inserting, so we may get this kind of exception. This kind of exception here, right? So each and every exception we will have a unique purpose here. But now we understand the advantages we are going to get whenever we are going to work on our Spring JDBC. Right. Now, so to work on this particular Spring JDBC, now what are the ways we can write? So you can see basically the Spring JDBC is defined two classes here. Two classes. What are the two classes here? So the first class here, the common functionality, getting the point, the connection related and closing related. So they implemented in our template classes here. So the template classes, first template class here, JDBC template. Right. Now we'll see what are the information they are having here. So JDBC template is extending, so and this implementing, so operators here. Now observe what are the information we are having. So fetch size, max row, query timeout. So these are the variables they implemented. And now you can see constructor we are having. So one more constructor which expecting data source. We are going to call this particular constructor to insert our data source object, right? And observe here the connection related information here. And here, so we are going to call execute here. Whenever we are calling this particular execute here, now you can see internally we are having so connection object. Internally we are having connection object. If we want to understand here, now you can see, so what we are doing here we are trying to load connection. So explicitly we are loading the connection whenever we are trying to work on our JDBC application. But whenever we are trying to work on the Spring JDBC here, the connection information is handled inside this particular JDBC template class. Now you can see connection. Now you can understand here SQL exception. And now you can focus here, try and catch block here. Try and catch block, carrying the point. So now what you understand here? So this particular common code is handled by the Spring JDBC template here. Now what we are doing here, so whenever we are going to call this particular execute here internally, now what happening internally? So it's going to create the connections and everything, the common information, and it will try to provide the, so whatever the action we are performing here, the action is going to taken care by the Spring JDBC. Getting the point. So this is very important here. So whenever we are getting an exception, so it will try to throw an exception, and now you can see, so get exception translator. With the help of this particular get exception translator, what it is doing is, it is trying to converting from the checked exception to unchecked exception here. Carrying the point. So this is very important here. So this is the common code is implemented here. Now, so back to here. So statement here. And we are going to work on this particular execute and the query. Okay, now you can observe all the query related methods we internally we are having. So it's going to call this particular query with the help of some other information here. But we'll try to see how this particular methods are going to call. But we understand here internally the template is handling common classes here. The common functionality is handled by the JDBC template. So same way we'll have a different template classes here. What are the different template classes we are having? First one we identify JDBC template, and second one we need to understand here named parameter JDBC template. So we'll see what is the use of this particular named parameter JDBC template and the difference between JDBC template and named parameter. So named parameter JDBC template. This is the another class. Okay, and final one. So simple JDBC template. So we'll try to focus on the difference between these three classes here. Okay. So first we'll understand the JDBC template. Later we'll move on to the another classes here. Getting the point. So we identify first we need to know the drawbacks of previous technology, and based on the drawbacks here, what are the advantages we are going to get, and we need to focus here. Getting the point. And we are having the DO callbacks here. The DO callback, so what it will do internally? Internally, it's going to work on so execute the transaction and return the data here. Getting the point. So we are having template classes and callback classes here. We'll have a callback classes here. And what are the callbacks we are having here? So inside this particular callback, Abstraction, no. DO support classes. Maybe I think so. So this is the DO supporter is going to take care of the particular callback functionality. Callback functionality is nothing but is going to work on the transactions here. Like whenever we are calling any method to insert the data or update the data, so the support classes are going to take. But this particular support classes are deprecated in our Spring 4 version onwards. Again, the code is implemented in our template classes. So everything is going to handle from the template here. So initially they provided different classes here, but after releasing the 4 version, so they remove this particular DO classes. So directly we are trying to connecting our everything we are going to implementing from our which class called Spring JDBC template classes. Okay, so this is all about the main purpose of this particular template classes. So here we identify the JDBC related template classes, but whenever we are trying to work on the ORM related classes here, getting the point. So here we have a different ORM framework is going to support it here. So the two classes we can see the first one Hibernate template. What happened? So which is not okay. So to connect to these two ORM template classes, again we need to add one more jar. So something called Spring ORM jar. We need to add Spring ORM jar to find out this particular template classes. First one Hibernate template. So second one JPA template. So we'll see the template classes in our upcoming classes. First we can focus on to this particular like JDBC templates here. Right. Okay. So back to here, how we can work on the JDBC template. So if you understand this particular JDBC template internally, so which is expecting one more object called data source. Correct the point. So internally, which is expecting data source object. So how we can create this particular data source? How we can create this particular data source here? Basically, the data source we are going to have by default here. So driver manager data source here. Getting the point. So driver manager data source. Now if you see, so the driver manager data source is implementing from the abstract data source. What happened? And data source. Getting the point. Now you can see javax.sql.data source. Now we'll go to the same JDBC template. Now you can focus here javax.sql.data source. So here the JDBC template is expecting data source object, right? Basically data source is a interface here, but if you understand the driver manager data source is implementation of data source or not, because if I'm trying to move abstract driver base or data source, and internally they are trying to creating abstract data source class, and the abstract data source is implementing from the which data source. So now you can focus the javax.sql.data source, which is coming from the. So this is the data source we are importing, and now you can focus here. We are inside the which package org Spring Framework JDBC.data source. JDBC.data source here. Carrying the point. So now we are inside the Spring JDBC only. Now we identify the implementation class we are having driver manager data source. So we'll try to work on the driver manager data source to connect our application here. So we'll create an object of this particular driver manager data source. Getting the point. Now observe here what are the operations we are performing. Now you can see, so we are having URL, so username and password. Getting the point. URL, username and password here. So which is trying to call here driver class name. So basically it is deprecated here from the which version it is deprecated. So maybe they did not provided here. Okay. Anyway, so what are the properties we need to work? We need to work on these are the 4 properties here. Driver class name, URL, username and password. Carrying the point. Everything is implemented here only, driver class name, and internally they are calling connection from the driver, driver manager they are trying to call. But if you observe, so here they are calling set URL. So where we are having this particular set URL, now you can see we are calling abstract driver based data source here. Here they are trying to set URL is equals to URL. Now what you can understand here, so these are the properties here. These are the properties we are having. Getting the point. So some of the properties are expecting string and some of the properties are expecting the properties type. We already discussed this particular properties here. Whenever we are trying to work on the collection of objects here, how we can work on the example. Getting the point. Map related example we discuss and later we discuss the properties here. So inside the same one we are discussing property. Okay. Now we understand here. So the driver manager data source class we are having. Internally, what are the properties we are having? So we identified here. Getting the point. Now, how we can configure this particular properties here? How we can configure this particular properties? Okay. So we'll back to this particular properties here. Now, how we are going to work on the properties here? Because first we'll check with the XML configuration, and later we'll move on to the annotation configuration. Getting the point. So to work on this particular configuration, now what are the steps we need to write here? Okay, so let me add, instead of working this particular class, now what we can do? So we'll try to create one more package here. Cutting the point. So we'll try to create one more package because we are moving into a different module here. So to understand the concepts what we discuss in the each module, so each package we are going to create com.spring.code. Internally JDBC. So this is the package we are going to create, and inside this particular package, now what I will do, I will create one configuration file. So that's the configuration file we are going to discuss as a first XML configuration file, and the name of the configuration file what we can provide, application underscore jdbc.xml. Let me finish here, and so the basic configuration we need to copy. What is the basic configuration we need to copy here? And okay, we'll copy this. Right. So we'll try to close the other information. Okay. So we don't want to close. So and we'll see the driver manager related configuration information. Okay. So to configure this particular driver manager related information, what are the steps we need to do? So first we need to define the B, and the ID will focus on the data source because the driver manager is implemented from which interface? Data source. And let me create a class. So what is a class we are trying to create an object? What is the class we are creating? So the class called driver manager data source. Driver manager data source. So which is coming from the which package? Because we need to provide the fully qualified name. And so this is the name of our package. Here what we can do, provide the package like class information with the package. Right. Now we provided the driver manager data source class. And later, now what are the properties? Because if you see inside this particular driver manager data source class, so it's trying to extend it because whatever the information we are providing, internally it is calling super class here. We'll focus on the super class functionality, and all are properties only. All are properties only. They are not having any constructor information. They're not having any constructor related information. Now you can see all are having properties only. If you want to understand here, set password. Set password is our setter injection or not? Getting the point. So this is we need to think here whether we can provide the constructor injection or setter injection. and here we can go for the setter injection. So to define this particular setter injection, what we can do, we need to define the property. So what is the name of the properties we are having? What are the name of the properties we are having? So go back to the here and we can see first one, driver class name. Let me provide this particular driver class name. This is the property we are having, and here now what we can do, basically which is expecting string property, Now what we can do here, we can go for the value here. And here, so inside this particular value, what is the driver class name? So which driver class name we need to provide here? So what is the database we are connecting here? So if you see in the previous example, they are working on the MySQL here. So where is the driver class name? So this is. Right. Now this is for MySQL. But now we need to focus on our Postgres driver class name. Getting the point. So let me copy from Google. Here driver class name. And what is the driver class name we are having here? This is the driver class name. Let me add this particular driver class name into value. Getting the point. So we added the particular driver class name value into this section of code. org PostgreSQL driver. And we need to identify another property. So what is the another property we are having? So go back to here, URL. Go back to here, URL here. Now you can see, so URL we need to specify like this, and URL is also what is the property they are expecting? String here. They are expecting string here. Now you can provide the string value. Getting the point. So to provide this particular string value, now what we can do? So go for the Chrome browser. Here we are having where is the URL? So this is our URL. If you understand here, so value I'm providing. Observe carefully, JDBC colon. So PostgreSQL they are providing server name, because we are trying to connect our local host, because the like a database implemented like installed in our local system. Getting the point. Now I want to provide local host. If it is running in a server, we need to provide the IP address. So everything is safe other than this particular local host, we are going to provide the IP address. Okay. And after providing this particular local host, which is expecting port here, by default, the Postgres is going to run on the port call 5432. Right. So this is all about the URL. And at the end of this particular URL, we need to provide the schema. So why we need to provide the schema? So to work on the database. Getting the point. So we need to provide the schema here. And now let me connect our schema, like what is the schema we are having. So this is the different one. We can go for the another one. We need to create the different schema. Now observe. So basically, I'm trying to work on the dweaver. It is a plugin here. So just to connect it, this particular plugin is going to connect to these many databases here. Now you can see Postgres, MySQL, ODBC, Oracle, and remaining databases. Getting the point. So using this particular plugin, we can connect to multiple databases here. Okay. Back to here, we are trying to connect our Postgres database, and I'm trying to click on next here. What happened? So this is not responding. Okay, now it is connected here. And here, now what we can do, local host we can provide because we are not connecting our server related application. And here we need to provide the database name. The database name I want to give as a Spring JDBC, and password we are having, right? So this is the password I given here. Now we can see whether we can connect to this particular database or not. We'll see. So Spring JDBC is not available here. Okay, from here we cannot connect, I think. So Spring JDBC I want to create. We need to wait internally. It's trying to create a new database here. Okay, so maybe the background operations are completed. Now you can observe we are getting Spring JDBC here. So first we'll see database properties here, DBA name and a public. Okay. Now, now what we can do, we'll connect from here. Right. So we'll see the test connection. So now you can see the connection is successful. Okay. Let me finish here. Observe here. So we are able to see one more database here, Spring JDBC. Inside the JDBC, now you can see schema. We'll try to create inside the public schema the tables here. So we don't have any table as of now. Present we don't have any table here. Okay. We'll create the table information inside this particular Spring JDBC. Now here, what is the information I want to provide? Spring JDBC I want to provide here. Let me, so S is the capital and J is the capital. Spring JDBC. So this is all about the URL. Carrying the point. This is all about the URL. Now we need to focus on the remaining properties. Now you can see username and properties. And if you are having any connection properties, now you can go for this particular properties. Okay. So presently we'll connect our username and password. Go for the application.jdbc. Property name, username. So the username by default, if you observe here, what is the username where we got previously whenever I'm trying to create a new connection. So if you observe, I'm trying to click on next. The username, this is the default username, and we are going to work on the same username. I did not change any username. So if you want to change, you can change the username and password, but I don't want to use it, like I don't want to change the username. So I want to keep as it is. Okay. And the last property we are having password. The last password, like property we are having password. The password I'm using here. So this is the password to connect our Postgres database here. To connect our database, I'm using, this is the password. Okay. Now we created, so data source object here. So this particular information is going to provide to connect our data source here, like a database object. So which database we are connecting here? Postgres database. Inside the Postgres, we are going to connect our Spring JDBC. Okay. So back to here, driver manager we created here. We are trying to work on our driver manager here. And after this, now what we can do? We need to work on our JDBC template. To connect our JDBC template, now what we can do? Because JDBC template is internally expecting data source. So internally it is expecting data source. We provided the data source information. Right. Now we need to work on the JDBC template. To work on this particular JDBC template, now what are the steps we can create here? So inside this particular folder, I'm going to create one class called person. Getting the point. This particular person related information we are going to work here, and person ID, first name, last name, and full name, email. Getting the point. So these are the properties are enough. Let me generate setters and getters. Okay. So now what you are understanding here, with the help of this particular person, we'll try to store the object inside our database here. Inside our database here, with the help of this particular Postgres database, we try to store the data. Okay. So after adding this particular person information, so now you can see directly I'm going to connecting our service classes. I'm directly creating service classes. So what are the service classes we can create? Person service. Person service is our interface here. So just now we discussed here, where here? From the person service object, we'll try to connect our DAO interfaces, and from the DAO interfaces, we try to connect our implementation classes, right? So and let me create this particular methods here, and string here. Now what we can do? Add person, and which will expect here person object, right? And go for the implementation class. Person service IMPL and person service. Add this particular interface here and click on finish. Now observe, so by default it is implementing person service and providing add person. Okay, and here now what I'm doing here, we'll connect our application with one more interface called person DAO. Inside this particular person DAO, public string add person, right? And here what I'm trying to write here, we'll try to create our implementation class. And we can go for the interface here, person DAO. And observe inside this particular person DAO, now, so we already identified here with help of the template classes, we'll try to connect our application. And here, now what I'm doing here, so like a private JDBC template. Private JDBC template here. So it's not responding here. Okay. JDBC template and JDBC template here. Getting the point. Now, with the help of this particular JDBC template, we try to connect our application. Now observe. Okay, so we'll keep as a null JDBC template dot. So what are the methods we are having here? What are the methods we are having here. Now we can see. So each method will have a different purposes here. We'll try to understand which method we can work here. So query method will returning list of objects and void query for into query for list. So query related methods, it will try to return the objects here. And we'll go for the update with the object args here. With the object args here. Okay. Now here, which expecting SQL query. Which expecting SQL query here. So what is a SQL query we can write here? So any idea what is a SQL query we can write here? So to insert the data, so what is the SQL query we need to write here? So no idea. So you did not work on any queries here as of now. Okay, no problem. Observe here, private final and string here. Insert query, insert into person. Getting the point. Insert into person here. Now, what are the values we can provide? And so first we will see this particular also, like what are the IDs like we are having. First one ID, comma, ID and first name, last name, and full name, get email. So how many we are having here? How many we are having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So here we can make 5 question marks here. Getting the point. And here we'll try to provide insert query like this. Getting the point. So this is very important. We need to understand here. So add person, which is implemented in our person DOI and we are calling internally update method to insert this particular update information here. Getting the point. And we'll see this particular update method, what is the information will return here. So it's trying to return count here. It's trying to returning count here. So we'll keep as it is this particular update as it is. With the help of this particular update, now what I'm trying to write here, update greater than 0. So update greater than 0. Now what I want to write here? Here we can provide the question. Successfully inserted the person record. And so we got some exceptions. Getting the point. So this is the message I am trying to return here. Getting the point. If you observe carefully here, if this particular update we are getting greater than 0, so this message will return, and otherwise, so this message will return. Getting the point. Okay. So finally, we created up to the person DOI MPL. So I want to know I want to run this application. So you need to provide the information like how many objects we need to create here. How many objects we need to create here. Meanwhile, okay, so I will try to create a main class here. So you need to think and let me know how many classes object we need to create and what are the ways we can create an object here. Spring JDBC main. Spring JDBC main, we are going to run our application here and with help of this particular main. Now what I am trying to write, we'll copy from the otherwise we'll try to create application context. We already identified here. Context is equals to new class path XML application context. We'll provide the configuration file. So what is a configuration file we are having? Application underscore JDBC. And context dot get bean. And here person service I am trying to provide. Service dot add person. Now what I am doing here? Person is equals to new person. Person dot set ID. ID we can go for the 01. First name. So just a random ID I want to create. Last name. Full name. And person dot set email. ram@jdbc.com. Getting the point. So these are the information. So we created. Sorry. Oh, I created again first name. Okay. So back to here. These are the object information we are going to store in our database called Postgres database here. So if I am going to call this particular person service, what happened here? Can I run this particular example or so do we need to configure any information here? Okay. Observe carefully. We need to configure lot of information here. The first one again bean ID, person service, com dot string dot co dot sorry we created co dot okay Okay. So code dot JDBC. What is the name of the class? Person service IMPL. And if you observe the person service IMPL, internally it will expecting here person DO. Because from here we need to call add person. Right. And so we are not like we need to work on the either constructor injection or setter injection. But we are not working any injection here. Now what we can do? So generate here setters and getters only selector setters. We don't want to work on the getters here. Okay. So person DAO. Now whenever we are working on this particular person DAO, what we can do? Inside this particular, you can go for the property. Name of the property we are having person DAO. We'll create a reference here, the same person DAO. Right? And inside this particular person DAO, again now you can see JDBC template. So JDBC template is expecting here injections here. So setter injection or constructor injection. We need to work on the JDBC template. Select setter here. Now observe we are having set JDBC template. Now what we can do? We'll create a one more bean here. Person DAO class is equals to com dot string dot code dot JDBC dot person DAO IMPL, and we are having property. What is the name of the property we are having? Something called JDBC template. Inside this particular JDBC template, we can go for the ref. We can define the JDBC template. And one more bean we need to create. So JDBC template class. Cutting the button. org Spring Framework dot. Where is a JDBC template? org Spring Framework dot JDBC dot co. Code dot JDBC template. And internally, so we'll try to connect our property. The property we are having data source, and reference we can provide data source. So these many information we need to configure. Getting the point? These many information we need to configure. So anything we are missing here? So data source and we are getting here. Okay, finally. And in our main class, we'll print here this out. So that we can think like whether successfully the record is inserted or not, we can understand here. Now observe, we'll see what happening internally. So file not found exception we are getting. Why this particular file is not found in here? Application, any spelling mistake we made wrong. So this is important here. Application underscore JDBC.xml. Class path resource application cannot be opened because it does not exist. Okay. So if it does not exist here, first we need to see application underscore jdbc.xml. We created application underscore jdbc.xml, right? But the problem here, inside the package we are creating, we'll go for the file system here. Instead of going class path here, we can go for the XML application context. Let me run the same example here. Basically, why I'm not, changing here, because each package is going to provide the each module information. So because of this, I don't want to move this particular file. So we can move. So we can copy into the file into this particular location called source directory. Okay. And I don't want to move because for each package we are trying to work on the examples. Let me run the example one more time. Oh, again we got an exception. Now we need to think this particular exception. So at this time we are getting different exception. No class def found, percentage wrong. Okay, now you can see I we given as a small here, but what is expecting here capital. Let me go to the our configuration file. So we provided wrong information. Change to the capital and back to this particular main class. We can run the same example. Okay, so still we are getting an exception. So now what you are understanding here? So basically here we don't have a table here. Getting the point. So we don't have a table here. Now it is connected to our application. It's trying to insert the data, but finally we found here the table is not there in the database. We already identified the table is not there. Now what we can do? Getting the point. Now you can see. So here they're calling the driver class name and they're loading the particular driver class and any other information we are having. Okay, so first we need to think about the person. Okay, back to here to create this particular person. Now what we can do? So what is the syntax here? So maybe these are the different table we are having. Okay, I will copy this. So in the previous example, I copied the table information. And what is the table we want to create here? Person. Right. And what are the properties we are having? And the property we are having ID. We are having any data type called number, I think. ID, number, and we can go for the not constant. And finally, so there is no username. We are having first name. And last name. The full name. Finally, email. Okay, so we don't want to work on this particular section. And the primary key we can go for the ID. So this is all about the table creation and where we need to create it inside the Spring JDBC. So number does not exist. What is the data type they are going to have? Number into. Okay. So table is created. Now what we can do, select star from public person. No data. ID, first name, last name, full name, and email. What we can do, let me drop the table. Here I want to make full name here. Okay. So we created first name, last name, full name, and email. Now I am going to run one more time. The same example I am going to run. Now I can see. So what is the message we are getting? Successfully inserted person record. Right. So if it is successfully inserted, we can go for the database. Click on this. Now observe the ID we given as a 1, first name Ram something Kumar, Ram Kumar, and email. Getting the point. So this is the way we can connect our JDBC to integrate our data into the database here. So any questions regarding our JDBC template? No? Okay. So we don't have anything here. Now what I will do, I will try to create one more method here. In the person service, public here, what is the return type we can provide? Once we update here, directly we can check in the database. We'll go for the same data types thing here. Update person. To update this particular person, now what we can do? And person object I need to load here. I need to pass the person object here. Return ID. We need to load and we'll update here. Okay. So this is I'm going to work here. Right. And the person DAO. Okay. Implemented. So two methods here. With help of this particular person DAO, update person. And what we can do, JDBC template dot query method I want to use here. So what is the query I can go for it here? First, based on ID, I want to load an object here. Otherwise, ID comma person, maybe we'll see. So which we can go for it, update and org type. So we can go for the row mapper or object we are going to load, right? We'll try to work on the update query. So to update query, first we need to load select query. Select a person. ID is equals to question mark. Okay, so this is a person query I'm going to use here. And new row mapper. Row mapper here. And here, what we can do, first this person dot ID. While rs dot next here set first name and rs dot get string. What is the column index we are getting? So we'll see. So based on this particular column index, we are going to get an object here. First name, last name, full name, and email. Okay, L also capital. Right. We'll change to 3 and 4. Okay, so this is all about the person. Will return the person. List of objects we are getting. So let me handle this. Suppress monitor. And here now what we can do. So query dot is empty. If it is not empty, query dot get of 1. Otherwise null. Person to string. Okay, so method is expecting person to string, right? Okay, so instead of returning here, we need to update. To update here, okay, person 2 we are getting. So this is the information we are going to get from the ID, and we need to update the information. So the information and here okay. So ID we need to change here. Person 2. So instead of uploading this particular person 2, and we'll update. Set ID and first name, last name, set email, person dot get email, and what we can do directly, we can call this particular person here, person 2. Right. So this is all about the updating here. But here, what I need to add here, I need to add one more long ID here. So let me change in all the cases. And here ID. Change in all the cases here, and this particular ID I am going to pass ID. Okay. Now what we are doing here, we are trying to updating the record here. So to update the record, first what we can do, we need to go to our main class, and I'm going to keep as G is here. So instead of Ram, what we can do, Spring JDBC and spring@jdbc.com. But here, what we are doing here, first we'll go for the 02. This is the person we created. Instead of add person, update person I'm going to call. ID, I'm going to update 1. Carrying the point. Observe ID I'm trying to give because only one record we are having the database, and with the second ID I'm going to update here. Let me run the same query here. So what are the properties are going to updated here? So now you can see successfully inserted record here. The same message we are calling here, but now we need to see. So what is the information we are going to get here? So what happening here? So second record is inserted. Second record is inserted, but we need to update the first record here. We need to update the first record. So what are the changes we need to make here? Because now if you see, so second record is created. Let me see here what is happening here. In the person DY MPL, we provided select a person. We are getting a person object. So this person we need to update. And again we are calling insert query here. So we need to update the person code. We need to change the query here. But if we change the person query, what we can do? We need to add a person to object here. Okay, person to ID also we need to match, right? ID also we are matching here. Okay. So let me create a one more method here. So instead of calling add person, where is the update person method here? Inside the update person, we are loading an object, and we need to call here. So UP person. And so update person, what are the, okay, to update the person, okay, so instead of writing this, because we need to define the all the columns, first we'll go for the same here. Okay, here we change the same, I think. What if we got in the second record, but here we need to pass first record, something called ID. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, instead of update person, we'll try to find out the same add person here, but here I am trying to pass the previous ID here. Now go to the main class. This is only right. Okay. Let me change to the all property with 1. And okay, so we'll run the same ID with the, yes. We are expecting to get duplicate key value. Okay. So ID already is existed, but it is not updating here. So we need to write explicitly update query here. So update the person. What are the update person? So we need to write the all the information. Set first name and email. So ID also we need to set. Where ID is equals to question mark. Okay, and let's see, is there any way to update the person with help of the different class? Okay, here only, right? What are the objects are enter type and batch updates, which is expecting a string SQL query and okay, prepared object array. This is not work. This is not it. Into type. Okay, so we'll try to create a new query only here. Update person param map, what we are doing here. Person dot get person get ID. Okay. Right. So update person. Update ID. Okay. And okay. So updated the query here. So to update the record here. Now we'll try to focus on the same example. Okay, no value parameter 6 here. So what is the parameter 6 we are having here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where? Okay. For the parameter, it does not have any. Okay. Now, so successfully updated. Now what we can do, we need to see what are the records are updated. Yes. Now you can see. So based on this particular ID, we are trying to updating the records here. Right. So first, what we are doing, we need to see here. Go back to here. Whenever we are calling this particular update person, now what we are doing is, we are trying to passing two objects information, person and ID. So with the help of this particular ID, first I'm trying to load the records. So this particular query, it will try to return the object information. And if this particular query is not empty, we are trying to get the person to right. So based on this particular person to information, whatever the object we are having, now what I'm doing is, so I'm trying to set to this particular person. I'm trying to set this particular person here. Right. After setting here, we are calling the update and we are updating the records here. Now if you see, these are the records are updated or not. So these records are inserted earlier, but with help of this particular tool, what is the ID we are passing here? 1 we are passing. Oh, something is wrong. If I am trying to pass 1, so it is updating. Okay, so what we can do, we'll try to put a breakpoint here. We'll see what are the records we are getting here. Here I'm trying to add a breakpoint. We'll try to run up with debug as a Java application. Oh. Okay, now the breakpoint is received here. ID we are passing 1. What is the one we are having? String 1. Okay, with the help of this particular string 1, again we are updating. Okay, we'll see. Now observe, query we are getting 1 person. It's not empty. So person to ID 1. Okay, but ID we are having same, but object we are updating here. I think it is working properly. All are updated here. And now we need to see this record is going to update it here with 1, 2, 3 values here. So whether it is updating properly or not, now we need to understand by running this particular query here. Okay, it is updated. Now let me run. Yes, so it is working properly. Based on this particular ID, we are updating remaining records here. So ID is same, but only the remaining fields are updated. Getting the point. So any questions regarding this particular update here? So only the two changes we made here. First we are trying to load the record. So based on this particular loading, and we are trying to overriding the values with a given newly created object here. Whatever the object newly created, with help of this particular newly created object, we are updating the records. Again, we are calling to insert the records here. Okay. So just now we identified. So we given initially the values are 1. Now we change to the 1, 2, 3 here. So the final only one operation we is pending. So something called delete here, because here we are seeing updating here. So deleting. So what we can do? So to delete here, first we need to write the delete query. So wait started final and string here. Delete. So what is the query we need to write? We need to delete the only records here. Okay. Let's see. So this query is working or not. I don't want to make a auto commit here. Yes. And question mark we can make. For deleting also, what we can do? We can call the any method either. Okay, so these are the methods are not suitable. And here also we can make string here. And what we can pass here? Only ID. Based on this particular ID, we are going to delete the records here. Inside the person DO also, I want to make long ID and implement this particular service IMPL. Delete person ID and here again we need to call JDBC template. any delete method we are having. So in the JDBC template, we don't have any delete methods here. Now what we can do? Again, we can call update method. So to call this particular update method, we need to pass here delete person ID. Identified here, update here. Successfully deleted person record. Now back to here. So one I'm trying to pass. The first record we need to delete. Now you can go for the application. So click on select start from person. Only one record we are having. Getting the point. Now you can see only one record here. So this is the way we can delete the records from the database. But how we are communicating Spring JDBC with our Postgres database. So this is very important here. The basic configuration, what are the basic configuration we made? This section of code is going to provide more information. So from the person service to we are calling person DAO, and internally DAO is calling JDBC template, and JDBC template internally it is calling driver manager data source here, right? So this is all about the configuration related to our JDBC template here. So any questions regarding our JDBC template? Because we work on all the CUD operations here. So inserted, updated, and deleted, and as well as we load an object here. So the load section we implemented here. Inside the update section already we already loaded the particular object. So this is the way we can load the object here. Okay. So we try to connect our Monday class. We'll try to discuss about the named parameter JDBC template. So what exactly the named parameter JDBC template is going to work, and we try to understand the difference between JDBC template as well as named parameter JDBC template here. Okay. So if we don't have anything here, we'll continue on Monday class. So Kafka, like we are not going to discuss here, but the Java messaging services, like how it's going to connect it, we'll discuss here after completion of our Spring MVC here. So same way, the Kafka also it's going to work, but only we need to understand the configuration of this particular Kafka here. But the functionality is same, like how the Java messaging service is going to work. Same way, the Kafka is going to work internally. So we'll see Docker like end of our session here, but Kubernetes we are not going to discuss it. So Docker is fine to communicate our application to integrate in our AWS environment. So those sections we are going to see like after completion of our Spring Boot microservices. The end of the session, like whenever we are trying to discuss our AWS, we'll try to connect our Docker information. So NoSQL databases here, one example we can discuss with our Mongo database. So to basically here, just we need to focus the integration part here. how we are going to communicate with Spring with the MongoDB or Spring Boot with the MongoDB. So this information is going to provide any real-time applications also. We are going to work on the same here. But what is MongoDB? Like what are the functionalities implemented in the MongoDB? We are not going to discuss here. Just we are going to discuss the integration part here. Okay. So any questions? So if we don't have, we'll try to continue on Monday.